And then the next day I wake up and then I see a notification on Twitter pops up and they say your account was suspended. So I was like, what is going on right here?
I need to know.
Welcome everyone again to another episode of Basketball Nation Presents Beyond the Athlete podcast. Today we have another special guest. I actually found him on LinkedIn actually, because I'm literally on LinkedIn every single day. So some of the amazing work that he does, especially with a future athlete that we all know as well. He's the social media manager for NBA Europe, and I'll even say one of the most important people when it comes to digital and social media for the NBA right now, and also a freelance photographer. And his name is Pierre Haessig. Did I say it right?
Yeah, you got it. You got
good. That's amazing. That's good. First try. Yeah, thank you, man. So yeah, we'll just start off, and it's amazing how basically before I connected with you, I was trying to find your email to try and get in touch with you, because as soon as I saw your work, and I can't remember who posted you. I think it was another gentleman from the NBA called Nick Cowell that I follow, and I think he posted something that you did with obviously Wemby, and I was like, wow, like this is amazing. I need to get him on the podcast. I need to speak to this guy. And then I went onto your page, saw your work. I was like, this is great. Saw how you were able to get all those guys together to do that project, and then started looking for your email address. Couldn't find it anywhere. I even asked ChatGPT to even find your email address for me. Couldn't get that. And then you connected with me, and I was like, okay, amazing. That's great. So just got in touch with you, and then here we are. But thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. I know you're quite busy as well. So thank you for having the time to speak with us. So my first question for you today is your journey. Where did everything for you start? How did you get into even the sport of basketball? Or what was life like before you even got to that as well?
Man, it started 24 years ago in France. This is all I got. I got started pretty much. I got three older brothers that I grew up with. So basically they all 30 plus, so they all grew up watching NBA at some point. Whether it's like through video games, through late nights, staying in front of the TV, magazines. I guess you also know how it is in Europe and how it was a few years ago. So through all that, basically, I was drowning in the NBA culture pretty much as a kid. Also soccer, of course, but I think NBA was that sport where it's kind of hard to reach the NBA because it's far. It's the US. It's still a dream at some point. We don't see the game live. We hear the names. We saw those guys on TV, but it's still far from Europe. So I think it was still like in some of my head, like a dream to be around the NBA at some point. And so I was into soccer and basketball for like 10, 15 years. And then when I started to be in high school, of course, social media became a thing. So I just back in the days launched the NBA France page, because no official pages was on Twitter, Instagram. I just launched it back in the days, and I was like, high school, you in that mindset where, maybe I can work hard for like a year. Maybe the NBA is gonna call me and say, yeah, we gonna hire you. Like, we're gonna hire you because your work is great and all that. And then at some point, I think after a year or so, I was doing that with a friend, and then everything was kind of growing. It was like 10 to like 15,000 followers in probably like 6 or 7 months, which was great for the time.
It's really good.
Like some athletes were like following us. But the main issue was everybody thought we were official. So at some point one day, I think Braun hits that buzzer beater against Chicago in the corner. And then we post the video like right after the shot, and it goes crazy on Twitter. So I'm kind of happy. I'm like, ooh, this is the postseason. Everything goes great. The numbers went up. And then the next day I wake up and then I see a notification on Twitter pops up and they say your account was suspended. So I was like, what is going on right here? It's kind of a strange thing. And then suddenly you kind of think about, oh yeah, we were using like NBA France identity, and I think it could be a problem. So I just reached out to Twitter, and back in the days, I'm not speaking English like that. I'm having a few words, like a few basics, but that's all. And one guy from Twitter just told me like the NBA told us to suspend the account because it was usurpating the identity of NBA, and no official accounts were launched, so they just suspended it. And I'm trying to reach out to a person in the NBA office in London. That person is Tom, director of communication, and then I'm trying to get the account back, at least the follower base back, just so I can start basically not from scratch. And he said, "Nah, you got to start it again. Unfortunately, we cannot get the account back." So, man, I was kind of pissed. It was like off season, June, July, August. Of course, I was in high school, so it's a lot to think about. What you want to do in college and all that. But I was like, let me get that back. Let me get an account back. And then starting over from a French website called Parlons Basket. So I started basically with the help of those guys. They were like, we have a website, we kind of have a base, you can start again, not really from scratch, and do the same thing as you were doing on NBA France. So that's what I did. I think in it was probably like September 2016, I want to say. And then what I didn't say is after they suspended the account, 2 weeks after that, they launched every official account in Europe. So NBA UK, NBA France, NBA Italy, NBA Germany, like every account was launched 2 weeks after that. So I was kind of pissed, but I was like, okay, maybe I started something there. Like, maybe I was the first one to do something, like launch a wave or something. So back to September when I created that account back, it started on the same thing, like 15, 20,000 followers in a season. So season 2015 to 2016, or no, 2016 to 2017. And then it's like June, I'm trying to reach out to NBA France on Twitter, like the official account. I'm trying to see who is behind it. So I get the DMs from them. We talk, and then one day we call each other on the phone. And this guy called Steph that I still work with today, I'm gonna give you more details, but I'm getting on the phone with him, and then we spoke for like 2 hours, and then it was great. It was a great communication. It was cool. We started about a lot of things, about soccer, sports in general, music, and everything. And then I think it was October, like probably October 2017. He's like, "Yo, I'm going on vacation for 2 weeks. You wanna replace me on NBA France for 2 weeks?" I was like, man, I was ready before
That's
like
like full
2017.
circle moment.
Yeah, exactly. I was waiting 2015 for that. So yeah, I basically went into like 4 or 5 interviews with the NBA, barely speaking English at the time. But yeah, made it through on NBA France. Made those first 2 weeks on NBA France Twitter account back in the days. So like tweeting about all the highlights and the news about French players and all that. It was pretty easy because I was doing that for 2 years already. So it was pretty smooth. And then moving on, yeah, man, it's been like 6 years with the NBA, and I've been doing like more of like Twitter account on NBA UK, also NBA Europe been open, I think in 2021 something. So I've been doing Instagram a lot. Also been doing a lot of translation for like NBA Paris game, for example. I've really been like a French market specialist for them at some point. I've been consulting for a lot of stuff, finding influencers. I've been doing it all with Steph again, and all the guys that work with us in every country and every market. But yeah, I've been doing a lot, and I feel like last year when Wemby was really popping up, like they asked me to find that videographer, at least find someone that can film all the games, and I feel like it was really like the big full circle moment at some point. It was great to feel like, all right, this is Wemby. This is probably the biggest prospect that we ever had in France.
In the world.
And yeah, in the world. So yeah, it's been great, man. It's been great. 7th season, a great run. I moved to the US a year and a half ago. Just set myself here because again, it was still a dream to at some point come in the US, stay here, go into NBA games, be around like all those athletes.
For sure.
So yeah, I just live my dream still, and with passion, still working on my craft and getting better and meet a lot of people. Because not gonna lie, it's what brought me here. Like the people, I met so many people along the way that just helped me to get there. So just trying to meet a lot of people here, trying to create relationships, and yeah, it's been great. It's been great.
That's amazing, man. That's quite inspiring. I was gonna actually ask, and what's your why? Because you could have easily given up when NBA told Twitter to stop that page. You could have just decided, you know what, I'm just not gonna focus on this. Like, let me just focus on school and stuff like that. So what kept you going? And the reason why I'm asking is because what you did then is pretty much what I've been experiencing in the last 4 to 5 years with myself, and I'm a lot. I'm sure I'm thinking I'm a lot older than you. I'm 35, so I've figured it out late, but it's never too late, if you know what I mean. I think at a later time in my life that if I get no's or if someone shuts me down, I enjoy that. I like when people say no. I don't know why. I like when people like shut me down, because for me, I just see, oh, that's an opportunity to grow, but that's an opportunity to do something bigger, basically. So because I have a why. So what's your why in terms of like what pushes you to keep going?
I think it was like first, like never give up that early. Like I was like 16, 17. I was like, I got so much more to accomplish. Like I cannot give up right now. At least let me get another shot, and then I'll see if I can do something different. But yeah, the why is I think I've played a lot of sports when I was young, and we've been told to like never give up, like no matter what. And then every athlete that I was like idolizing pretty much were like probably basketball, it was Kobe, and Kobe was the best for that. Like even when he was the only one in the team, like he would still not give up. So I think from everything that I experienced when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, it was pretty much at that point it was unconscious for me to not give up. It was just not me like, all right, let me not give up. It was just like, I'm gonna still go through it and then find my way. Because I think in life is that you always, I mean, it's pretty cliche and everyone being saying it, but it's always like that. You always have like a down, and then it will always be ups and downs, and then at some point, if you figure it out and still go through it, you'll find your way in. So I think not too far from like when I was a kid, I wanted to be a soccer player or a basketball player, or like at least an athlete. But I think when you do a sport, it's the vision that you have.
Yes.
Like the easy vision, you want to be an athlete, but I think the point after that, when you actually understand that it's probably too late to be an athlete, then you got to figure it out.
Yeah.
What could I be, right? But the system, at least for France, I think the system pretty much everywhere want to tell you that if you cannot do that, then do something else. Well, I think when I was just realizing that I cannot be an athlete, then I was like, NBA or like soccer or sports got so much more to offer than just being an athlete. Like,
that's right. Yeah.
Even your podcast, right? It's like beyond athlete. Then beyond athlete is everything that is around the athlete, also
Athletes,
like the fans, like someone that just do health around the athlete. Like it will be like so much things. For me, it was social media. Now it's like a bit of photography too. But there's so much more to just be an athlete. Like if you cannot be an athlete, then try to find something else that can suit you and go through it. Like go get it.
Yeah, that's true. And the reason why, and I like the fact that you mentioned that, because when I speak to with our platform, so we have quite a lot of 16 to 21-year-olds in the UK that play basketball. And if I speak to individuals, I'll ask them, oh, so what do you do outside of basketball? Some of them are in university studying, doing all stuff, working, but some of them would be like, oh, I just play basketball and then play video games. So you don't do anything else. You're not trying to learn something else, learn a new skill, maybe do something with fashion, or maybe even try compete. If you're a gamer, maybe try and find ways to compete in that, or learn computer science, web development, like all those sort of things. And you realize that a lot of them don't do that. So our platform is also, as much as we're so basketball focused, we're also trying to show them, oh, listen, I have this friend who has a tech startup, and he's doing a boot camp for you to learn software engineering, web development, app development. Or I have this person who has a recruitment company. She can show you how to start up your own sort of recruitment space, or help you with your career path in terms if you want to do something else, basically. But before they have no idea, because when you're young, because when I was playing basketball at the age of 16, 17, all I wanted to do, I was 5'8". And I started playing at 16. And when I started playing at 16, I wanted to go to the NBA. I couldn't dribble. All I could do was play defense. Do you know what I mean? Because no one else, nothing out there showed me or informed me that, listen, there's so many other things I can do outside of that, and it's still related to basketball as well. So that's why your story is amazing, like in terms of how you started to where you are now, and you still mostly haven't even touched the surface of it yet. There's still quite a journey to go as well, which is amazing. But then I want to go into sort of the social media aspect of what you do. How does social media basically currently now kind of work its magic in terms of getting fans in Europe, especially around the NBA, really hyped up? Like what is it that you're doing to get that buzz? Because you going back to what you said about how you were able to get the pay to like 10,000, 15,000. And then when you even started again, you were able to do that again. What is it that you're doing right? What's your, I know you can't give away your secret sauce, but what is your, what is it that you do that's making it so hyped?
I think to not give like too much data on like how social media is working, but I've understood pretty much like early that a key to being successful on social media is stay close to the people that follows you, right? So at some point I was like, I'm talking to a group of person and I'm trying to stay close to them and stay true to them. I think it's really important to stay true to yourself and do it your way, just so it stays unique. And then that's everything I did pretty much. And then that's why the page is still existing. And that's why the page is like now 200,000 followers. Like the people that followed me 6 years ago are probably the same that follows me still today. And they can still see the same person behind the account. So I think that's a key, like staying true to yourself for sure, but stay true to what was yourself also 6 or 7 years ago, even though you grow for sure. But I still stay the same and I still do the same thing. Of course, now it's like saturated pretty much because like 6 years ago, it was not a lot of account that was doing the work I do, but it's also great to see that a lot of people now are doing the same thing. But it worked for me. That doesn't that doesn't mean it's gonna work for somebody else. But again, you can find a way to still do it. Like find a concept. Back in the days, my concept was like, all right, let me get an account where people can just like think about it. It was like 7 years ago. It was if you want to see the NBA or watch the NBA, you got to pay for it. It's like I don't know, $20 per month. Every kid has not $20 a month to pay and get to the broadcast to just see the NBA. So my thinking was like, what if I give access to those people, like the images, the highlights, the stats, the facts that no one knows, and then at some point, this is also what I was fulfilling my dream with that. I was like, and one day maybe I'll go to NBA games with that account and I'll try to find something that nobody does, like and that's pretty much how it worked. And that's of course now today I got a lot on my plate, so I cannot do it the same way I was doing it back in the day. And it's also I think in everything in life, at some point, it's been 7 years that I'm doing this. I understand perfectly like how social media works, but it's also that I don't have the same passion that I had doing social media work that I had 6 years ago. But maybe some kid have that passion right now. So let me give back to a kid maybe that I can take with me, like give my knowledge to that kid, and then the kid can have like start basically his career in that way. So maybe my way now for social media is find like some other kids that want to do it and then learn around someone that made it or made like his dream come true at some point. So I think it's my way of thinking. It's been 7 years. All right, what can I do now with this knowledge that I have? And how can I give back to someone else, basically? And I'm learning about other stuff now. It's like I'm learning about photography, I'm learning about videography, I'm learning about like creative direction, but it's always about evolving pretty much. So there's no key pretty much, but I say stay true to yourself and stay like close to your community pretty much.
Okay, thank you for that. How important is upskilling as well? Like you said, you're learning photography now, creative directing. Even myself, I'm learning how to kind of work myself around the camera. This setup before used to be done by someone else. Well, the guy that you met earlier on, but now I can do it myself. If I was to shoot a physical podcast as well, if we're both sitting there, I can set up everywhere myself. But that came with practice. So my next step is now being able to edit myself. And I feel like those things are important because when you then start to build a team, you can now pass on that knowledge to the next generation or the people on your team as well. So how important is that for you as well? Upskilling in terms of your role and
I mean, I think it's always about evolving and learning something new, learning more. But it's related to the people, to be honest. If I don't have the people next to me that can talk to me about photography, videography, when it's like basketball, like when you learn basketball, you gotta have a coach. Like you can learn some stuff, but you always gotta have someone by your side to just help you. Whether it's like your teammates or whether it's a coach or whether it's whatever, your dad, your mom. But it's just relating to the people pretty much where like those kids you were talking about at some point, if they want to do something new or they want to find out about something, like they need to meet people at some point, which is probably you making a connection between two persons, but you got to have that middle person that just make the connection. It's the same for me. If I meet some new people, maybe I'm going to be interested in doing something else, like learning about what she's doing, what he's doing. The key is always going to be meeting people. So it's for me, it's great to meet those people and getting at least I think getting inspired by those people just so I can like do more. I think buying a camera, I don't remember when I bought my camera, but it was probably because I saw some great work on social media today. Like we can see so many great things on social media that we want to buy things, that we get inspired by those people and we want to do it too. But when you got your camera in your hands, then it's great. You want to do the same thing as that person was doing, but you still got to have like some knowledge from somebody to just help you doing it, right? It's like way quicker than just learn by yourself, even though you can do it. It's a longer process to just go to like a photographer. I wanna get your help, get your thoughts on how to get better and all that. At least for me, it was that I got helped by the guy that just filmed Wembanyama this year all year long. Like he helped me getting better at photography. But if that wasn't like him helping me, I'll probably get like 6 or 8 months a process, which was brought down to probably 2 months. So
nice.
I guess it's way quicker to learn from people rather than just to learn by yourself on everything that you do. And it's also great to learn from the people because they've been through it. They've been through those like long process. So use someone that's just been through a long process to have this like a short process pretty much. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. And we all go through challenges during our journeys as well. It's nice to hear the good stuff, like the success and everything else, but what makes the success worth it is the challenges that we overcome. Has there been any challenges, number one, in your journey, in terms of what you've accomplished so far? Number two, in terms of what you offer to your audience on social media as well, because there's also challenges with that. And the reason why I say there's also challenges with that is because the world is different parts of the world that have different cultures. How do you adapt to the different cultures in terms of the content you put out, basically? So yeah, that's my question in 2 parts.
I think for your second part, based on the content that we put out or we actually do, it's cool because you still stay close to your audience. So pretty much stay close to like the French culture. It barely goes like out, like it barely goes out more than France. Like it would be like 80% France pretty much. And then probably some of that content we go to Africa because a lot of countries in Africa, of course, understand French, and it's also a great source for them to have those information. So it's also hard because I pretty much understood like pretty quick that I need to like get distant between like me myself and like the account that I handle pretty much, and I also got help from like friends of mine that just helped me like doing the account work and all that. So as far as my outlet, of course, like the NBA is pretty much different, and everything that we do is it's pretty different, you know. It's the NBA, so everything is already ready to go on Twitter, and we barely have time to just watch like how people is like have that info like when they get it. It's hard to on that content side to see the different cultures and see how they receive it. But yeah, as far as me personally, of course, I've been through a lot for sure. It's been like my dream wanted me to come to the US has been a dream since like when I was a kid. And sometimes you don't understand why it takes so much time to get you out there. I've been starting to work in like 2015. I moved to the US in 2022, so it's like 7 years. Which you don't understand why it's not working before. Like you want to move like right away and then go to the US, but it takes 7 years. And when you're a kid, it's hard to understand that it's really a process. Like it's really you growing to like different steps of your life to be ready for that moment. So yeah, I've been through a lot of ups and downs, and I think I got better at just handling the downs because I was just not conscious of what it was when I was like 20, which is totally cool with it. You just gotta figure it out pretty much. But once you know that it's way more than just the destination. Like Kobe had that quote where he was saying like, enjoy the journey, not enjoy the destination, but also enjoy the journey. Like it's the most important thing. Like you'll get to like so much in that journey that you cannot just enjoy the destination. You gotta enjoy the whole process. So for me, it was definitely that. So, and it's still a process. Like I'm far. I'm like 9 hours difference with my family. Like it's a lot, and I'm still in a country where I know a lot of people for sure. I'm starting to get used to it, and I'm starting to feel like a lot of people are my family right here. But it's still hard to not be in where you grew up pretty much, and be far from the ones you love, being far from the culture you grew up in. It's hard, but you got to stick to it. You got to go through it, and it's not the same process, of course, now that it was a couple of years ago. So yeah, man, it's been a fun journey, honestly. I've no regrets in everything that I did. The times it took to get me here I kind of understand why it took so long.
Yeah, no. One thing I have learned in my life over time is that sometimes we want something so badly. For example, I may want to be a millionaire now, but for me to become a millionaire, I still have to grow in a certain area for me to be ready for that. Basically, the same way that maybe at 2015, as much as that was your vision of going to the States to do what you dreamt of, maybe you had to go to a level where you were actually ready for that. Because if you went at 2015, who knows, you could have crashed.
Yeah, for sure. That's exactly the vision.
Yeah. So I had to take that 7 years of process to actually get you there, basically. And I think for me, that's always very powerful, because if you didn't have that, you won't be speaking about this now. You won't be telling that story for people to actually hear, which is amazing. So there you go. There's always a reason for everything.
Exactly.
My other question I wanted to ask as well was pretty much around community. In your space of work, and even my space of work as well, and the world right now, community is so important, especially after the pandemic as well. Community, connectivity, relationships is so important. You spoke about relationships before. Are you very specific in who you build, who you bring into your community that you create, and the relationships that you build, or are you quite open to just meeting everyone and anyone?
I don't mind meeting anyone and everyone, because you never know who's behind that person that you saw for like 10 minutes. Like, of course, meeting someone at an NBA game is, if he is there, there's probably a good reason why he's there. So we definitely have like a circle that is, of course, like super close to what we like. We probably have like a lot of common points, but yeah, man, I meet people everywhere I go. So everywhere I go is like the gym, the NBA arenas, where I live pretty much. And on social media, of course, I get a lot of people that ask me questions. So those people are just either fan of photography, NBA, like. So I don't have like that much people that reach out to me for something that is totally like far from what I do. But yeah, I think I'm just, for now, I can meet anyone and everyone. I can like share some words, sometimes it's just like words that just can change a whole situation for someone. So yeah, I feel like I can talk to anybody about anything, honestly. So yeah, anyone that just want to reach out to me, for sure, send me a message. I can always help.
Okay, and the reason why I asked that question, because I do speak to a lot of young guys and ladies as well, and they're very much hesitant to speak to people outside maybe their teams or their circle of friends, but not realizing the power in connecting with someone that's completely different from you. A friend of mine actually did a podcast a few weeks back, and he's in the fashion industry, and he interviewed a photographer. And one thing that the guy said was that it's a skill to actually build a relationship with someone that you have a conflict with. So if I don't like you and you don't like me, but I can still build a relationship with you and work with you, that's more powerful than anything else. And I thought when he said that was amazing, because a lot of people nowadays, especially the younger generation and this is not me faulting the younger generation as well. They don't know how to work with people or a person that they don't like. They feel like because you don't like that person, you can't work with them, or you can't speak to them, but not realizing that your gold might be in that person and vice versa as well. So that's the reason why I asked that question, because I also wanted to hear from someone else like yourself who is constantly engaging with people, especially physically and through your work on social media with NBA and stuff, because social media is another place where people are throwing all sorts of things, and I'm sure you've experienced that as well. What's that like when you see those sort of messages and comments and ridicule and stuff like that?
I mean, I barely get it on my personal account because I always like share the positive vibes and all that. So I'll barely get it, and I definitely don't get that in real person, because I've always been like kind, generous to everybody. Like everybody that need help, I'll always help. I'll always get like positivity in every relationship that I have. And yeah, man, I think it's in today's era, in today's society, you can pretty much reach out to anyone. Like you can literally message anyone on like social media. If you want to message like Burna Boy tomorrow, you can send him a message on Instagram, and you never know if you will see it. So I think like it's not I think our parents and like our brothers and I think at least mine, they didn't have the chance to message like anybody like that. They just had to figure it out by themselves, and I had the chance to just text anybody if I wanted something. And then of course probably like 5% of my messages when in that outbox, and then and then some of them when I just reached out to some people like at the NBA. And like I said, and those people at the NBA, I still talk to them. I still work with them. So you think about that relationship that we grew from basically a DM over 7 years. It's incredible, right? So, of course, meeting someone in real person is way better than just meeting her or him through like an online platform. But it's still like so easy to reach out now to anybody that you gotta use it at some point. So yeah, man, I think it's really a key to meet people, whether it's on social media or like I was that kid in Florence where I was like kind of scared to like go to somebody and ask him something because I was like shy kind of. So I was kind of like hesitant also to not do it, but like social media, you don't have a reason to be hesitant. It's literally social media, it's virtual, so you can do whatever you want. Like it's you behind your screen pretty much. So it does not take your like your fears anywhere on social media. You can do it, but I get in real person, it's hard to meet people, and me coming to the US as me like totally changed because like here is just so easy to connect with people, especially in LA. It's just you can meet with people and get their Instagram, get a number or whatever. Like you get that after 5 minutes of just talking with those people. So I think they're just great at that, and we don't have that culture in Europe for sure. But you definitely gotta engage and talk to people to, like we said, like learn and get better at some point.
Okay, that's amazing. Thank you for that. I want to go back to the work you did with Victor Wembanyama. That experience, what was that like being around him? Because I feel like it's almost like standing next to, I feel like it will always be like standing next to someone like LeBron James or Kobe Bryant or maybe MJ. Forgive me, those MJ fans, because they're gonna think I'm blaspheming because when I say that, but because he's sort of like that, class him as like the next big thing since LeBron James. Like, what was that like working with him? Like, what was he like towards you and your team? Like, what was that experience? I just want to know pretty much like the experience from start to finish. were you able to accomplish everything that you had in your plans in terms of the shots that you were taking, the content that you needed, etc.? Yeah.
I think it's from where it started. It was it kind of wasn't expected at some point because NBA never did that, right? They never bought like rights to the European League and actually like broadcast
I thought
that
that was
on the
amazing.
NBA app. So
Yeah, I watched some of the games as well, which is really cool. I watched some of the games as well, which is really good. So yeah, I was shocked, basically. So
I mean, it's I was shocked too. I've been to a lot of French league basketball games when I was a kid, of course, and I never seen like those arenas like full and like it was literally packed out every game that Wemby was playing, whether it's like home or away games, and it was packed out. Not even at the time of the game at tip off, it was packed out like 2 hours before the game, just because people were just coming and they wanted to see him practice before the game. And he also got that unique like pregame routine where it's like stretching, like wakes up every muscle of his body. It's literally unique. Like it was crazy. I didn't went to all the games, but I flew out for like I think it was December and January when we had that NBA Paris game. I went to a game too, and then I went to probably like 3 or 4 games in December. And yeah, it was not the first time I was seeing him because he'd been in the French league for a couple of years, and so I've basically seen him over the years. And I've seen him grow pretty much, honestly. Like it seems like this year he was ready. He was really ready to just crush everything in the French league. He had like best. I think he was first in points, first in rebounds, first in blocks. He had like 4 or 5 MVP of the month, MVP of the regular season. Like, I mean, yeah, it's. And I've been around like French league for a lot of time now. It's been almost 10 years that I've been around, and we've experienced some stuff like some kids that were just like play like Kylian, like Rudy Gobert, all those guys. They played in the French league before. They went overseas after that, US. We've seen like the lockout back in the days when like Batum, Tony Parker, they all came back and like they packed out arenas for like what 2 games maybe, and then got back to the US. But like Wemby did that for a year, and then it was incredible. As far as like getting the content, of course, working with the NBA is you got to be professional. So we cannot like get to Wemby like asking questions and it's also back to the relationships that we were talking. This guy's doesn't know us pretty much. Like he knows the NBA is around, but he doesn't know us. So we don't want to break anything in around his circle and like even less when he's like in game time. So yeah, it was crazy. The 3 guys that just filmed him all year long. They went home, away games. We didn't miss the game.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, film everything. Like those, you got to think that those guys were filming Wemby and they were creating the work and the viral videos that we saw on social media. They were doing it at the same time. It was every time it was one person that was doing it, like filming. Oh, we get a clip. All right, let me go on my laptop, edit, get the colors ready on the thing, and upload it. It was doing it. We were doing it everything in real time, which is crazy when you think about like the output and how many views it generated on social medias. So yeah, respect to those guys for sure. I've been also like super happy to just take some flicks of Wemby and just keep that for archive for later. Like it's still amazing. Like if you actually take your vision to like in 20 years when you like I would be super happy to have
man,
like Braun's picture in high school. So no, it was definitely great, and Wemby is in the finals right now. So we're not done yet. He's not done yet. So got to finish the season like as strong as possible, going to the draft, of course. And then after that, it's cool. He'll be here next year. So yeah, looking forward to go to San Antonio and keep documenting his story at some point.
It's amazing, man. That's really amazing. So my few final questions are always around they're not always connected to what we're spoken about. So my next question is, do you have a question for me? This always throws everyone off. Always throws everyone off.
I'm kind of surprised, but yeah, I mean, you asked me the question, but who you got in the finals?
Miami Heat. I like that. I always root for the underdog.
Underdog, okay.
Yeah.
Can I see you?
Yeah. Okay. Definitely Miami Heat. Okay, and who would you start, bench, trade? MJ, LeBron, Kobe.
Wow. Okay. Pretty straightforward. I would definitely start. Yeah, I don't want to. My brothers are not gonna be happy, but I will probably cut MJ.
Wow.
Just because.
Okay.
Just because I never seen him play, and I know he was that guy, but as far as personally, I've never seen him play, so it's kind of hard to just say like MJ just to say MJ. Like I don't want to.
You can trade him and get some good pieces.
Facts. But definitely respect this game and his story for sure. I would probably bench Brown and I would start Kobe. Just because like it was Kobe was my idol for sure, and gotta start him. Like if he's on my team, then I gotta start him. And then Braun is, of course, like it's Braun, like but yeah, gotta choose someone. So if it's like my personal choice and not like the basketball level and their skills and anything of that involved, I'll probably have that trial like this. Yeah.
That's cool. You're the first person to cut MJ. Everyone started MJ. Everyone I've asked to start MJ. So yeah, I like that. Yeah, because I would actually start Kobe as well, because Kobe is my guy before even LeBron and MJ. So yeah, makes sense. And the last question, but not the least, who would you like to see from any of your relationships or anyone that you've seen in the world of basketball on this podcast? Or who would you recommend as well?
Gotta represent UK, so I'll fire my boy Mo Muncy. That's been on Sky. That's been on Sky.
I've actually been wanting to speak to him. Actually, I've been actually wanting to get him on, but I don't know how to get in touch with him. I have to find a way. So yeah.
Well, I'll connect you guys, but yeah, you definitely gotta go with Mo if in the UK. Probably Mo is my guy, and he does a lot of great things for basketball scene in the UK actually. So definitely a great guest for you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, make the connection, and let's do this for sure. But thank you, Pierre, for a great conversation. This was really, really good. Hopefully we get to speak again. I know you're coming to London sometime this year, so we'll definitely do lunch on me.
This summer for sure.
But it was a pleasure speaking to you. Thank you everyone for watching, and until the next episode of